Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nazami bin Zainal Abidin. Today I want to present about readiness of implementation toward Internet of Things system on the bachelor degree final year student of agricultural program. This is my abstract for this study. For introduction of this study is the global internet over last 2 decades has provided limitless benefit to organization and people around the globe. In farming and agriculture, IoT focus on automating all aspects of farming and farming practices to ensure the operation more productive and competitive. IoT are used in both diagnostic monitoring in the agro-industrial and environmental industry in particular. Agriculture is one of the key fields where IoT-based work is ongoing and new technology are introduced on a regular basis to render the operation smarter and more effective for the better growth. Therefore, with the present agriculture scenario in Malaysia that plagued by a lot of problems, having IoT-based smart farming is the ultimate necessity. To incorporate real-world smart farming, IoT-based technology need to build and deploy at frequent interval and often at very fast rate. There are several problems are listed in this case study, which are lack of readiness and implementation of IoT system toward agriculture industry. Firstly, low of educational attainment in IoT information and skill are lagging behind. Besides, the lack of basic literacy and numeracy poses a significant obstacle to the users of emerging technology. Lastly, uncertainty of accepted IoT use due to the questionable of effectiveness level it used in agriculture. The purpose of this study is to understand the readiness of final year student bachelor degree of agriculture program toward implementation of IoT system. Hence, there are three objectives established to achieve the objective. Firstly, to study the variable that influence independent on the readiness of bachelor degree final year student of agriculture program toward implementation of IoT system. Second, to study relationship between all variables that on the readiness of bachelor degree final year student of agriculture program toward the implementation of IoT system. And the third is to study the dominant factors of respondent on the readiness of bachelor degree final year student of agriculture program toward implementation of IoT system. Significance of this study is to evaluate the attitude, pieces of behavior control, social influence, and pieces of usefulness. This study will provide information regarding which a dominant factor is effective on the readiness of bachelor degree final year student of agriculture program toward the implementation of IoT system. Data gathered will also help the student and farmers to adoption of traditional farming method can be dramatically changed by integrating the latest IoT technologies into agricultural activity and enhance farmer and student always be ready to embrace modern technology in agriculture practices. Population in this study is the bachelor degree final year student of agricultural program. 430 of the population size of the final year student bachelor degree of agricultural program are selected. Sample size is a total of 204 students were chosen using the random sampling from the 4 different universities, which is Universiti Teknologi Mara, Universiti Putra Malaysia, Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris, and Universiti Sultan Zainal Abidin. The main data collected mainly from the analysis of information, such as the use of the questionnaire filled out by student as a respondent. The data is extracted for the study using the online version of the questionnaire. The questionnaire is developed using Google document platform. A theoretical framework modified from the previous technology acceptor model to demonstrate the readiness of final year student bachelor degree of agricultural program toward the implementation of IoT system. Based on the literature and the conceptualization, the study used the theory of acceptance and seen in the diagram, a theoretical framework of variable for IoT preparation was built. The model consists of the 4 independent variables that are extracted from the literature and the supporting hypothesis. 4 independent variables are expected to affect the readiness of the final year student bachelor degree of agricultural program toward the implementation of IoT system, which is attitude, pieces of behavior control, social influence, and pieces of usefulness. The results show this analysis include a total of 204 respondents. Table display their demographic data, which cover gender, marital status, age, race, level of education, university name, degree program, and expected budget to involve the implementation of IoT system in agriculture. It show the frequency and the percentage. Table show 204 participants took part in the study and the outcome of the socio-demographic. Based on the result, 33.3% of the respondents are male and the respondents are female accounted for 66.7%. The result revealed the majority of the respondent was married, which is 3.4, while 96.6% was still single. 15.7% of respondents were 21-year-old and 30.4% were respondents who were 22-year-old. The results show that majority of the students were above 23-year-old and accounted for 53.9% each. There were only two races involved in this study, namely Malay 90.2% and Bumiputra, Sabah and Sarawak 9.8%. With regard to education, these respondents are 100% bachelor degree holder. Data reveal the majority of the respondents from the University Technology Merah, which is 38.3%, followed by University Putra Malaysia, 35.8%, University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, 13.7%, and University Sultan Zainal Abidin, 12.3%. There are 8 bachelor degree programs that are selected in this study from 4 universities. The results show majority of the respondents from Bachelor of Science, Honours, Plantation Technology and Management, which is 23.5%, followed by the Bachelor of Science Plantation Management, 17.2%, Bachelor of Education, Agriculture Science with Honours, 13.7%, Bachelor of Agriculture Biotechnology with Honours, 12.3%, Bachelor of Science Agrotechnologies Honours, Agronomy, 7.8%, Bachelor of Science Agrotechnology Honours, Horticulture Technology, 6.9%, 6.4% for Bachelor of Horticulture Science and Bachelor of Engineering, Agriculture and Biosystem, and Bachelor of the Agriculture Science with Honours, which is 5.9%. Based on the result revealed that the highest respondent expected budget if they want to involve the implementation of IoT system in agriculture is 2,000 until 4,000, which is 38.2%, followed by 4,000 until 6,000, which is 20.1%. For that, below 2,000, which is 17.6%, and above 8,000, which is 12.7%. And lastly, 6,000 until 8,000 ringgit, which is 11.3%. The result indicated that most of the respondents are able to incur costs around 2,000 until 4,000 ringgit to start involved with the implementation of IoT system in agriculture. A person correlation coefficient in this study calculated the strength of the linear between the technology acceptance and 4 students determinant, which is attitude, basis of behavior control, social influence, and basis of usefulness. The highest relationship represented by the basis of usefulness. The correlation was R 0.78, significant 0, followed by the social influence R 0.668, significant 0, basis of behavior control R 0.607, significant 0, and attitude R 0.568, significant 0. Table show the basis of usefulness has strong relationship, while social influence, basis of behavior control, and attitude is moderate strong in this study. The analysis therefore show that there were correlation between the implementation of IoT system and readiness of the finalist student bachelor degree of agricultural program. The finding of the multiple linear regression is shown in the table, which is the most significant factors in the readiness of the implementation toward the Internet of Things system on the finalist student bachelor degree of agricultural program. The dependent variable for this study is the readiness of the implementation toward the IoT system. The independent variable are attitude, basis of behavior, social influence, and basis of usefulness. On the basis of the above result, it was shown that our R square value is 0.65, and this means that all independent variables in the regression model are explained by 65% of the variance in the dependent variable within the regression model. The table regression coefficient analysis indicate that the influence of the attitude on the readiness of the agriculture program final year student bachelor degree is not significant because the value is 0.023, p-value is 0.691, the p-value exceeds 0.05. Hypothesis 1 is rejected. For the second hypothesis, the result of the behavior basis on the readiness of the agriculture program bachelor degree of the final year student is positive and significant because the value is 0.132, the p-value is 0.034, less than 0.05 is the p-value. Hypothesis 2 is accepted. The third hypothesis assumes that there is a significant and positive impact on social influence on the readiness of the final year student bachelor degree of agriculture program. The results show that is true. Social influence affect readiness of the final year student bachelor degree of the agriculture program positively and significant because the value is 0.193 and p-value is 0.004. The p-value is below than 0.05. Hypothesis 3 is accepted. Finally, the fourth hypothesis is also accepted, which which means the piece's usefulness has a positive and significant influence on readiness of final year student Bachelor Degree of Agricultural program. The results show that pieces of usefulness has highest effect of readiness of final year student Bachelor Degree of Agriculture program, which is the value is 0.532, the p-value is 0.00, thus hypothesis 4 is accepted. For the conclusion, the finding in this study show all variables have moderate strong and strong relationship on the readiness of the Bachelor Degree final year student of Agriculture program toward the implementation of Internet of Things system. Besides, the statistical analysis show three of variables which is pieces of behavior control, social influence and pieces of usefulness are positive and significant, while attitude variable is positive but not significant. Therefore, pieces of usefulness is dominant factor of the respondent on the readiness of the Bachelor Degree final year student of Agricultural program toward the implementation of IoT system. This means that if the technology helps students to make significant progress and minimize task uncertainty, which eventually increase the success in their farming activities, they will to accept implementation of IoT system in farming technology. For the recommendation, first of all, if respondents typically do not perceive IoT discomfort, they should be taught how to deal with it and make good use of it. Long-term planning is required in order to avoid being too dependent on IoT and also to preserve human interaction and relationship. Besides that, in order to develop understanding of how to use emerging technology, workshop and seminar may be held periodically. Secondly, with comprehensive federal, state and local government plan to introduce a high degree of the readiness and acceptance among farmers in Malaysia of agriculture technology. It is recommended that a special body be set up to prepare, supervise, evaluate and disseminate ideas. Lastly, management training program related to entrepreneurship and technology. A program aimed primarily at the turning small-scale agri-entrepreneur and government-dependent agri-entrepreneur into the large-scale program. I think that's all from me. Thank you.